This year sees the 75th birthday of one of the most iconic and well-loved dive watches ever, the Omega Seamaster. To celebrate, Omega have introduced a summer blue dial to each of the ranges in the Seamaster collection. The neat thing about these watches is, as the depth rating increases, the darker the blue on the dial. It starts with a sky blue on the Aquaterra and ends with an abyss-like blue on the Ultra-Deep. Today, we're going to be comparing two of the dive watches at either end of the Seamaster stable. We have the Seamaster Diver 300M and we have the Seamaster Ultra-Deep, both of which 75th anniversary versions. So, what's new on these watches? Well, not a lot really. A new caseback and new dial colours. Some of the Omega faithful have been less than impressed. They both have the graduated blue dials of varying shades, with the Ultra-Deep being nearly black at the periphery, replicating the incredible void-like conditions of being 6,000 meters below the ocean surface. In comparison, the Diver 300M is far lighter, especially at the center, and in some lights the logo and the text on the dial is virtually invisible. The dial finishes also differ. The Diver 300M keeps the instantly recognizable wave pattern, while the Ultra-Deep has one of the coolest dials we've seen in a while. Using 1 million sonar points, Omega have recreated the exact topography of the deepest point in the ocean, the Challenger Deep Trench. This is where the Ultra-Deep was initially tested back in 2019 when it accompanied Victor Vescovo and his submersible DSV limiting factor on a record-breaking journey to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Adding to the intricacy, there's also an Easter egg that proclaims Omega was here, which is only visible in ultraviolet light. It's cool, but I can't help think it would have been cooler had they not announced it, leaving customers to discover it themselves, like a true Easter egg. The sizing is also a big point of difference, as you would expect. The Omega steel-cased Ultra-Deep is chunky to say the least, measuring 45.5mm in diameter by 18.1mm in thickness, with a lug-to-lug of 52mm. While the Diver 300M measures 42mm in diameter by 13.6mm in thickness, with a lug-to-lug of 50mm. While it's not a massive difference lug-to-lug wise, that extra thickness really makes a difference to the wearability, and considering the Ultra-Deep weighs 254 grams compared to the 200 of the Diver 300M, it's a different experience completely. Movement-wise, the Diver 300M houses the automatic caliber 8800, which has a 55-hour power reserve and resonates at 3.5 Hz, while the Ultra-Deep has the automatic caliber 8912, which features no date and an additional 5-hour power reserve. The movement also enables you to jump the hour hand forwards or backwards 1 hour, similar to a true GMT. It can be a handy addition when travelling. Both are META-certified master chronometers and include a coaxial escapement which reduces wear and ensures a high level of reliability. They also include a silicon balance spring which contributes to the 15,000 Gauss magnetic field resistance. On both watches you have new caseback which depict Poseidon with 2 seahorses, referencing both the original and the current Seamaster logos. The 3-dimensional motif on the Diver 300M is much more ornate than the simple engraving on the Ultra-Deep, but there has to be some compromise when you want to reach ridiculous depths. Bracelet-wise, I far prefer the tall watch aesthetic on the Ultra-Deep bracelet. I do wish that the bracelet on the Diver 300M was tapered also. Both have micro adjustment functions which are very handy, but the Ultra-Deep offers slightly more length. Another issue with the Diver 300M strap is that when its adjustment is fully open, you can see that the end of the strap is not a link and has a gap. It's a little bit jarring. Cost-wise, this Grand Seiko level new dial means the 75th anniversary Ultra-Deep is £1,400 more than the standard watch and costs £12,000. Similarly, the 75th anniversary Diver 300M is an additional £1,000 more, at £5,800 on the bracelet and £5,500 on rubber. It's a lot considering it's a simple dial change, although that dial change on the Ultra-Deep is far from simple. Looking at them side by side, the Ultra-Deep feels a little bit like the Diver 300M on steroids, though it's actually probably more similar to the 600M Planet Ocean. Although the Ultra-Deep may not have the depth rating of, say, the Rolex Challenger Deep Sea, it is £10,000 less and also comes in a much more wearable size. Omega may have come under a little bit of criticism for these releases, having not released a new watch, just some new dial colours, but thematically I think they're strong. Whether or not that's something the consumer cares about has to be seen though. Either way, the blue dials and the unique caseback bring a little bit of modernity to each sub-collection. And if I'm choosing between these two watches, I'm going Diver 300M and buying an Aquaterra with the spare change. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more watch news and reviews.